What is up, y'all? New season. Welcome to DBFT. My name is Like, and just you know, sit back with me, chill, enjoy the show. Um, we're back for another year, 2025. 24-20 loss to the Philadelphia Super Bowl champs, defending Super Bowl. Like, man, we had it. We had it. Let me just say that. We had it, then we lost it. We had it, then we didn't. Seems like this happens to us all the time. Obviously it's gonna happen to teams every year. You gotta lose games, but I'm talking about like the way we lose them. You know what I mean? We just don't have enough at the end, and we can't pull it off at the end. Like we're not consistent in that. Like let's just say, a Tom Brady would be consistent. Let's just say Patrick Mahomes would be consistent. We just don't have that extra oomph. And I'm not even gonna lie, Tony Romo would be consistent at the end of the game. It was just overblown the fact that he wouldn't be consistent and he would choke in the end of games. It was overblown, bro. I'm just saying he would pull it off more times than not. Dak, on the opposite hand, doesn't pull it off more times than not. That's what hurts us, bro. So, in this, new generation. But to start the game, first of all, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. Like, comment, subscribe. Uh, Ring that notification bell so you can get notified when I upload and all that good stuff. But you know, it started off pretty good for us. Pretty good. Pretty good. You know what I mean? Jalen Carter, first of all, is a bitch. Okay? Jalen Carter's a bitch. Who spits on another grown man, bro? He's lucky none of as far as I can tell, none of the offensive line saw that. You know what I'm saying? Because if Ty Smith sees that, if you know, maybe Cooper Beebe, I don't. It's gonna be some extra stuff, but anyways, so I don't know what kind of grown ass man spits on another grown man. Like, if you're gonna do something, do it. But spitting, like, bro, I'd be damned if I ever spit on anybody in my whole life. Besides, never mind. But you know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of grown man spits on another grown man, bro? That's some bitch shit. You just can't say it any other way. So, good thing he was kicked out the damn game, and I hope he gets suspended for multiple games, cause I already said it. He a bitch. Anyways, uh, he gets thrown out. Hopefully he's also looking at a fine. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he's also looking at a damn fine. But we get off to a solid start. You know what I mean? Nice little rhythm on offense. Pickens gets his first catch. On that first drive, which is like key. He's a new guy. You want to involve him. You know what I mean? So, it happened, and then all of a sudden he just went away till like the fourth quarter. Like, on the other hand, CD's over here dropping passes the whole game. Like, he dropped one in, I believe, the first half. Then he dropped two in the fourth quarter when we most needed him. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, CD, like that. That's why I don't like the fact that you know, like when the Cowboys, when we get a great player or a good player, a decent player, everybody starts holding him up like he's like Michael Jordan, bro. You know what I'm saying? Oh, CD Lamb. Oh, Michael Parsons. Oh, like, oh, they're the best in the league. CD Lamb, I am here to say, bro, as a diehard Cowboys fan ever since the 90s, bro, CD Lamb is not the best receiver in the league. There are way better receivers than CD Lamb. At least 3 right off the, you know what I'm saying? Big time. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, I'm not here to just totally, shit on CD Lamb, but could he have made one? If he had made one of those catches, could we have won the game? Ask yourself that. I believe that's a goddamn yes. That's a hard yes. You know what I mean? So, where are we there? You know what I'm saying? If that's our best player and he can't pull it off, where are we there? What, are we lacking wide receiver? Or should we kick CD Lamb over to WR2 and make Pickens a new one? Should we trade CD and go get a whole bunch of first round picks? I mean, if this is going to be a norm, bro, like this is the first game of the season. Let's not a little too late for that, but let's not overreact, right? Let's not overreact. That's the whole thing. Let's not overreact. It's first game of the season. Okay. But he couldn't pull it off, bro. This was a key game and we beat ourselves. It wasn't like they beat us so much, bro. We lost 24-20. Had CD made one of those catches, one of the last 2, we're talking about a whole different ball game. We're probably talking about a W right now. Mind you, we couldn't stop them much either, but I believe our defense would have pulled that off at the end. Having all our starters, you know what I mean? Well, aside from Overshown, obviously. Most of our starters, you know what I mean? And we pulled it off at the end, man. I'm just saying, I'm confident in that we would have buckled down like we did at the end. The defense did buckle down at the end, okay? So great job by the defense to give the ball back to the offense. You know what I mean? With 2 minutes left, 2 minutes and change, 3 timeouts on the road. What better situation do you want to be in, bro? Like, if Dak can't pull that off, that's like being like with he had training wheels, bro, and he can't pull that off. Then when is he gonna pull it off? Then, you know what I'm saying? Then what I don't know. You know what I'm saying? What are two? Okay, look. Let's just say this. Okay, let me be fair to Dak. Dak threw some ropes on the button. Dimes, bro. Like, literally, Dak was diming in the second half. More so the fourth quarter. You know, towards the end, he threw precise throws, man, including that one to Ferguson on the sideline where Ferguson caught it with one hand. He threw another one to Schoonmaker, whatever, dropped it. Yeah, he had a guy on him, but he dropped it. You know what I mean? But that was on a button, bro. Like, he threw it to George Pickens on the sideline on the button. You know what I'm saying? What else does CD want, bro? Like, Dak literally handed the ball off to him 50 yards down the field on that first deep throw. Like, you can't get the ball any... Like, that could have been Patrick Mahomes. That could have... Matter of fact, it reminded me sort of Russell Wilson, except without the whole arc. You know what I mean? Like, he threw that precise, bro. And Lamb drops it. And then almost has it intercepted on that one play. I was like, man... I thought they were gonna pick it, and I was like, man, that what a shame. You know what I'm saying? But luckily, Blankenship or whatever his name is dropped the ball. Um, you know, CD did kind of hit him for him to drop it. He kind of played defense after he dropped the ball. Like he should have caught it in the damn first place. But oh well. What I'm trying to say is right. It's not so much on Dak, okay? But yes, the wide receivers got to help him. My experience, my experience with Dak, all right? I don't know if y'all view it the same way. Y'all view him the same way, but it's like if he makes things a little harder than they should be. This game, I didn't really see him doing it that much, but there's a history of it. Um, he started off good. In the second quarter, he went, you know, started veering off, got back into it a little bit in the third quarter. But then in the fourth quarter, he kind of buckled down a little bit. He did have a couple of bad drives where he didn't throw the ball on the money and this and that, right? Or didn't make the best throw that there was on the field. Stuff like that. I'm just saying he just doesn't put it all together in the end, man. Consistently is what I'm saying. So, I say all that to say, yes, Dak couldn't pull it off, but I mean, Dak, he could have used the help of his best, the best offensive player on offense, the best offensive player that we have, being CD Lamb. Okay, he could have used some help, but it's just frustrating that we can never just pull it off, man, consistently. You know, at least 60% of the time. Can we pull it off? No, don't happen that way. Matter of fact, we get it about 30% of the time or something like that. Like that's in my head, that's what happens. But and I'm saying down to the wire. I'm not saying we only win 40% of games. I'm saying down to the wire, we hardly ever pull it off. So we need to get better at that, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's how I'm gonna start this podcast today. But this is a new year. I'm excited to see what we got in store. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wait to see Overshown. Hopefully in week 6, week 7. Hopefully, I can't wait to see. We showed some good. The way we're gonna incorporate Turpin a little more. We showed a little bit of that, but I would like to see a little more of that, man. I would like to see a little more of that. Like, Terp does have trouble getting off the line since he's so small, and they can easily jam him. So he has to get better at that, and that will make him a better receiver automatically just because of his blazing ass speed. So hopefully, I don't know. I hope they've been working with him on that. I don't know what he needs to do. Maybe use his quickness a little more off the line. Because, I mean, strength only goes so far if you're like 100 pounds less than the guy that's guarding you. You know what I mean? Like, like come on. So, I'm exaggerating, of course, but you know what I mean. I'm excited to see this season. I mean, we did get off to a pretty decent start, 24-20. It's not like we went out there and didn't swing back. You know what I mean? We punched them in the mouth a couple times. We got punched in the mouth a couple times. I think the thing that changed the game around, coincidentally, was almost the same guy that almost won the game for us, like on a big momentum play. And that would have changed the whole outlook of the game if we're able to finish that drive. Miles Sanders, former Philadelphia Eagle. What that would have been, I mean, amazing. If we would have let's just say if we pull that win off, because that being a major component, that play being a major component, that he made 70-yard run, whatever it was, 60-yard. man, like the the sting we would have left Philadelphia with would have been nice. You know what I mean? It would have been a nice little sting, a little upper hand, and then next time when we get them at home, we would have probably had their number, and they would have not been able to recover from that this season. And then if we meet them in the playoffs, it would have been a sweep, 3-and-out. You know what I mean? But it didn't work out that way because this motherfucker wants to go and fumble after that. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, and I had a feeling when he made that long run at the end when he was getting caught up on first of all on that run, my guy, you're getting chased by one guy that's on your left side trying to punch the ball. Run right. Run right. You have the no one next to you. He's punching the ball from your left side. If you feel someone on your left side, why wouldn't you go this way to get away from him? And bro, he would have scored easily. There's no question he would have outran Bond to the end zone if he just like uses the field. He was on the left sideline. That means he has the whole, like, this is the field. He's on this side. He has the whole field to go to the end zone. You know, we all do that in Madden. Whenever we see, you know, a guy next to us, we just go this way. You outrun him because of the angle. You know what I mean? To the end zone. So, like, I don't know why he didn't do that. Vision. You know what I mean? Like great running backs would have done that. With just like their instinct vision type of thing they got going on, like Barry Sanders or something. You know what I mean? Not only Barry Sanders had that. I'm trying to say, like, yes, it's Miles Sanders, not Barry Sanders, but instinctively, you're a football player. I would hope that you just like instinctively use the rest of the field to your advantage. He didn't do that, and he got caught because of that. So all that little stuff plays a role into our loss. So I think the three biggest takeaways that lost us this game, right, was, and I'll write it down as I say it because I didn't write them down. Okay, was CD drop. That was towards the end, though, of course. CD drop, but first came the Miles Sanders fumble. Miles Sanders fumble, and then Pickens didn't drop a pass, but he did drop the ball when he got that penalty right before Miles Sanders fumbled the ball. So George penalty. That unnecessary, what was it? Unnecessary roughness, whatever it was. Those are the big contributors to us losing today. If we don't have at least one of those plays, I would say, okay, George Pickens gets a penalty, you get moved back. Now it's a little harder for you to get into the end zone. You try extra hard, and now you fumble the ball. All right. But let's just say George Pickens gets that penalty, Miles Sanders doesn't fumble the ball. Or let's just say George Pickens never gets that penalty, and Miles Sanders never fumbles that ball. You know what I mean? Like, that's even better. CD drops the ball at the end or whatever, but it wasn't that big of a deal because maybe we were ahead. And then the Eagles would have gotten the ball back. We could have stopped them. That would have been the game. You know what I mean? Like, things change the complexion of the game. I'm just saying, like, this is why I like breaking down the game, because you see it better as, like, what could have won the game? What could we have done better? You know what I mean? And that's one of the three major things that we could have done better. Just no penalty, okay? The penalty doesn't move us back. We call different plays. We don't call that play. We don't fumble. But I will say this. Like I mentioned, I did have a feeling when Miles Sanders got that long run, and I told you, like, when this guy started chasing him down, I'm like, okay, he's gonna he made a long run, he's gonna fumble the ball. It's just like it's just in our nature to make a crazy, incredible play out of nowhere. You know, we had no momentum on our side. It was just like an even keel game. Then we make a crazy play, and it's just in our nature to just like fumble that away. It happened to us. You know, that Dez catch against the Packers back in the day. You know what I mean? In what was it, 2014, whatever it was. That was set up. That never happens if DeMarco Murray never fumbles the ball. If you go back and look at I think the beginning of the fourth quarter or towards the middle of the fourth quarter, DeMarco Murray fumbles the ball. That puts us. We would have gone to take the lead, I think, by like 10. So, because we were up by like 3 at that point or something like that. But then, you know, that should have been a Murray touchdown. But then Murray fumbles the ball. And then now the Packers get the ball back. And now the Packers score. And now we're behind. And now we've got to go. You know what I'm saying? So, if DeMarco Murray breaks that without fumbling, he had a whole bunch of field in front of him. Maybe he scores a touchdown on that play. Then we ain't talking about the Dez catch. It never happens. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like breaking down the games, bro. Because, you know, Miles Sanders, if he just goes to the right side of the field on that chase down by Bond, he scores a touchdown. We never get to see what happens after that. But instead, George Pickens, penalty. And instead, Miles Sanders ultimately fumbles the ball. Things like that, man, just get to me. Like, just an easy thing that we could have done. Easy. Just go to the right side of the field when you're running the ball and you feel someone on your left side trying to punch at the ball. Like, what's so hard about that? I don't understand. But it happened, and there we go. You know what I mean? So, I have key plays. I don't have that many. I have just one page. Usually I have two in the past seasons. But today was just like, not only did I want to just take a chill, I wanted to enjoy the first game back. Season opener, NFL season opener, and we are it. We are that. I just wanted to enjoy a little more. But also, it was just a kind of like even keel sort of game, going back and forth. I didn't see too much that we just completely messed up on. It was just like normal little things. We didn't have that many penalties this game. I don't remember us having too many penalties. Okay, so let's just break it down. Let's go to the little breakdown here. Total penalties. We had 4. They actually had 9 for 110. They had 9 penalties for 110 yards and still won the game, bro. I'm trying to say, like, we only have 4. We only have 4 penalties, bro. So, that shows, you know, we are on a different path of, like, I would say discipline. You know what I mean? Than in past years, because we know, you know, we've been one of the league leaders in penalties and yards. So to correct that is pretty damn good. I'm just saying that's a pretty good start to the season. But you get 4 penalties for I didn't check. 4 penalties for 42 yards. That's not bad. I'll take that every week. I'll take that every week of the season. You know what I'm saying? And they have 9 penalties for 110 yards, and we still lose the game. Something doesn't add up there. We beat ourselves is what that's saying. That stat alone is saying that we beat ourselves. You know what I mean? Because they could have beat themselves. And we chose to beat ourselves instead of helping them beat themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all, you know, messed up. The point is, right? Key plays. Let's go. Let's break it down. Jalen Carter is a bitch. That's what I wrote down. The very first key play. Okay. So I already talked about that. We'll get on. You know, he gets kicked out and all that. We have a nice rhythm to our offense. Pickens gets his first catch. I said that to begin. I just wanted to run by that again. Decent run stopping to start the game. I mean, Barkley didn't really have anywhere to go. And by the way, Barkley didn't do. I mean, we stopped Barkley for the most part. He had 18 carries for 60 yards, 3.3 average, a touchdown. So we pretty much stopped Barkley. He just had that one little short touchdown. But 3.3 a carry, I'll take that any day. Um, Matter of fact, Turpin had 4.5 a carry. All right, and Jalen Williams, even Javante Williams, had 3.6 a carry. So even he did better, carry per carry wise, average wise, than Barkley. You know what I'm saying? So we did stop Barkley. Make no mistake about it. But we couldn't stop Jalen Hurts. I don't know how. I don't know how. We didn't know that Jalen Hurts. Apparently, we didn't know that Jalen Hurts could run the ball. That's kind of crazy because I knew that, but our team didn't know that because there's no plan to stop him from running. That's how you know they didn't know that. But anyways, I digress. Okay. Decent run stopping to start the game. Hurts rushes for TD. I wrote down, didn't know he could run, question mark. I guess not. That's tied the game at 7-7. I forgot to say, we got our first rushing touchdown of the season by Devontae Williams. Congrats to him. He had a nice little game. But we stopped handing him the ball in the second half. That also made a difference because he had, going into halftime, he had about, what was it, 12 rushes or 13 rushes? I forgot. But he had a lot of those carries in the first half. Then we stopped giving him the ball in the second half. I don't understand how that happens either. It was a nice little. At halftime, we were down 21-20. You know what I'm saying? We're down 21-20, right? 21-20 halftime. I didn't even write down where the halftime was. Okay. I always do so I don't get confused, but now I didn't. Okay. So 21-20 at halftime, right? Then that's with the run pass balance. You feel me? So run pass balance, you're down 21-20. Why not keep doing that? I mean, it's working. All you need to do is do the same thing you're doing in the first half because it was pretty much working. You know what I mean? CD even broke out in the first half also. You know what I mean? All you got to do is just correct the defensive end and spy Jalen Hurts. That's all you had to do. That's the only different move that you could have made. At least maybe have somehow, some way, Sam Williams containing Jalen Hurts and spying him at the same time. You can do that. You know what I mean? It's more likely that they'll have a linebacker or a safety spying him. But, I mean, you could do things a little. I'm just saying, bro. You could do things a little different. You know what I mean? If you think outside the box. That way they don't expect it. That way he's like, oh yeah, I got a free run. All of a sudden there's a spy there that you didn't know. You didn't account for. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Anyways, the point is we didn't spy him. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand how we didn't do that from the beginning of the game. They don't get off to the start that they do if we do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, there's an extra guy in coverage. But I would put our corners were holding we have Trayvon Diggs. We have got Deron Bland. You know what I mean? And I mean, Elam is like good. I mean, he did get burned on one play. You know what I mean? But he's decent. Have safety help on him, and Diggs and Bland can do their thing. I don't understand, bro. Like how it isn't that already integrated in our coaches' heads to make that part of the game plan. I don't understand that, bro. I don't understand that. It's like we don't know. We're not geniuses. We're just watching the game. We're fans. But even we know that we got to spy Jalen Hurts. Like, but they don't have. They don't make it part of the game plan. Uh, anyways, man. Anyways, 7-7. Devontae Williams gets a second TD. Nice little drive. 14-7 with right at the beginning of the second quarter. So then 6:46 left in the second quarter. Excellent pass coverage. Our pass coverage was on point, bro, for the most part. And we still didn't know that Hurts could run the ball. I wrote that down. Okay. 14-14. Hurts scores again. I don't get it. But it happened. 6:46 left in the second quarter. We get an Aubrey field goal with 2:34 left in the second quarter. We could have stopped them and it could have ended there, but no, it gets worse. 17-21 on a Barkley rush with 51 seconds left in the game. So we end up getting to about I'm not good at math, but we end up getting to about the 40-yard line. All right. Just enough for an Aubrey, for a 52-yard, 53-yard Aubrey field goal at the end of the half. That was key. You know what I mean? That was a big field goal. And, of course, Aubrey is the best. Literally, Aubrey is the best player in our team at his position. Brandon Aubrey is like 99 overall, bro. Kicker. Can't say enough about him, bro. Like, he's big, bro. And clutch. So 20-21. Halftime. We've been doing things good. Like I said, all we need to do is change the fact that we have not been spying Jalen Hurts. But no, we don't do that. We don't do that. It goes to the second half. All right. We actually hold them to a field goal with 8:30 in the third quarter. 20-24. We're now down 4 points. And sadly, that's how the game stays. We are not going to score anymore, but there is some action. Sanders with the beautiful run on his former team. And here's where it goes right. Pun intended. Okay. So, Sanders then fumbles the ball. 4:44 left in the third quarter. And it just felt too good to be true, bro, at that point. I had a feeling that he was going to fumble if he kept running the ball. Like, I had a feeling he was going to fumble when he was getting caught by Bond. And then he didn't fumble that play, but he fumbled a couple plays later. I just had a feeling, bro. It's just like, it was just too perfect. It was too perfect of an opportunity for us to be able to get the momentum on our side. It was just too perfect. It couldn't be, bro. Like, I felt it, bro, in me. Just, I was even like, honestly, I was like, take him out of the game. He did his job. Take him out of the game. Get Javonte Williams in there. Get Javonte Williams in there. Get Blue in there. And I hope we end up. It's tough because, I mean, Sanders did break that long play, but we could get that from Blue. Okay? We could get that from Blue. I just hope to see Maffa, bro. I hope to see Maffa. Man. I think that'll be I don't want to say game wrecker. You know what I'm saying? But I think he'll do some damage. I feel like he could do some damage in the NFL. But that's yet to be seen. All right. We fumbled the ball. I wrote down losing play. Losing play. Can't do that. And then goes the weather delay. What was that, like an hour? We lost game action for like an hour. That was crazy. Diggs is over there getting what was it? Uncrustables. What is that called? whatever the reporter reported on. I just couldn't believe he was trusting the food, sandwiches and stuff from. And that's exactly what I thought about. I thought about what was it? Chris Collinsworth said. I'm not sure if that was actually him or one of the other guys, but he mentioned Jordan the flu game got poisoned from a delivered pizza and Jordan ate it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I want food. Oh yeah, we'll bring you some food to the locker room. We're in Philadelphia. I ain't trusting that, bro. I'm just saying. Like, you're the op. No. But, you know, they get their little sandwiches and all that, warm up, and we didn't score, but we did get off to a good start. You know what I mean? Great stop by the defense right off the bat from the weather delay. We held them to a 3-and-out. You know what I mean? It was awesome. Both our star corners missed blitz sack, so we could have had them further back. We would have gotten better field position as a result of that. But Trayvon Diggs misses what I think is like the dumbest juke. It's like he didn't want to hit his friend or his former teammate, whatever. I just think, bro, Trayvon Diggs, his mind, I don't know where it's at half the time, bro. But I do know, you know, when that ball's in the air, he's going to go get it. That's what I do know. And I do know also that they didn't test him today. They didn't test him. They didn't test Bland either. They tested Bland maybe like once. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't throwing to our corners, bro. Not like that. Not like that. You know what I'm saying? So we did get on that. But we missed those blitz sacks, bro. Those corner blitz sacks. One by Diggs, one by Bland. If we get any one of those, maybe it's a fumble, maybe we return a defensive touchdown. Like, those are the little things that we need to capitalize on, bro. Like, you can't get juked. Like, you know he's going to fake, what do you call it, to if you're coming from the outside, you know he's going to fake to the inside. Like, come on, man. That's Jalen Hurts. I don't understand how you fall for that, bro. Like, square, as soon as you're getting close to him, kind of like ease off and wait for his next move. Then you go. You don't have to just, you know what I'm saying? Jesus. But we miss him. We do end up stopping him. That's a good part. But I'm just saying, we could have done it better to get better field position. Or maybe even a sack fumble, bro. But we don't get to see that. That was with 3 minutes left in the game, actually. In the game. Well, no, in the third quarter. My bad. 1 minute left in the third quarter. Big first down on 3rd and 1 once we get the ball back. In our own territory to CD. That was a big 3rd and 1, bro. I think it was a slant to CD. Yeah, it was a slant. And I think it was Ferguson that kind of cleared the path for him to get that little slant. That was a nice little design play, bro. And it wasn't even close to being offensive. Usually that'll be like an offensive pass interference type thing. It wasn't even close to being an offense. That was just a beautiful design play, perfect timing, and we got that first down. We need to do that shit more often. I'm just saying. Beautiful play drawn up by the coach. Whatever coach drew that up, I don't even know. I don't know who drew that up exactly. But perfect play design, perfect play call at the perfect time. In our own territory, on the road, when we need it. We came up with that. You know what I'm saying? So that's hope. You know what I'm saying? That's hope. But we still got some work to do. It's still a little muddy. You know what I mean? Going into the fourth quarter, now towards the end, skip all the whole whatever happened in the beginning. You had a drop by CD and whatnot. Not the last two, but I think the first one I believe was. I'm not sure when his first drop was, but he did blatantly drop that pass. It was such an easy catch, especially from a receiver his caliber, especially from an NFL receiver. Period. Even if you're a role player, like easy catch if you're an NFL receiver. For us, we might drop that. I know I wouldn't. I wouldn't drop that. But for the average person, they might drop that. But I'm talking about an NFL receiver. That's an easy catch. All right. Fourth quarter, 3 minutes left. Big stop on 3rd and 7 by Bland. It was more so Elam that tackled him, but they gave a little bit of the credit to Bland on the announcer did. It was more Elam, but Elam makes up on that play particularly for the play that he got burned. You know what I'm saying? On that one play, that was ridiculous. That was like he got caught on. Yeah, he was with the receiver. I didn't write down as a keeper. I should have wrote that down, but he was right there on him. But he was right there on him, bro. I mean, it was good coverage. It was just a better offense. You know what I mean? Like when a shooter shoots on a defender, and the defender had perfect coverage, like Jordan, on the defender. It's just great defense, but better offense. You know what I mean? That's what that was right there. Then again, if that was Diggs or Bland, I believe they somehow come up with an interception. At the very least, to break up. But here we go. That was 3 minutes left. We get a tremendous big stop on 3rd and 7. This is the defense that we need all season. All right. We got some things to clear up. Just a little bit of a tweak on the game plan would have won us this game on defense. All right. A little bit of a tweak. Of course, we dropped passes. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about little bit of a tweak in the game plan. Jalen Hurts doesn't score all those plays. They probably score 7 total points because of that, because they can't throw on us. And we're just blanketing all their receivers. A.J. Brown had like 1 catch the whole game or something like that. Some crazy like that. A.J. Brown, where's he at? 1 catch for 8 yards, bro. You know what I'm saying? What are we talking about, bro? Devontae, what's his name? Devontae Smith? Whatever his name is. 3 catches for 16 yards, 5.3 a catch. Like, we blanketed their receivers, bro. They no fly zone, bro. You know what I mean? But it's just a little bit of a tweak to keep Jalen. I know there's so much to that offense is crazy, right? We can agree on that. But we stopped them for the most part. It was just, we stopped, bro. Understand, guys, that we stopped A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, whatever his name is. I forgot his first name. We stopped Saquon Barkley. 3 of the premier pieces that won them the Super Bowl, bro. You know what I mean? But we couldn't stop. We couldn't spy Jalen Hurts. Like, just a little simple task that we could have done extra and just won this game. We know what we need to do in Dallas when we face them again. You know what I mean? It wasn't that difficult for me to beat the Eagles. Like, just that little tweak, bro. And catch the passes. This game would have been 24 us, 20, let's just say 31 us, 7 them, or 10 them. So 31-10, bro. Like, easily, if we just adjust these things, because they don't score so much, because we're spying on Jalen and he can't throw because we're blanketing. Maybe he has a couple picks, and this score is easily on our side, bro. Easily. So, not that much work to do as far as like just creating a winning game plan, bro. Not that much work to do. It's just a little tweak here and there. You know what I mean? Then again, the game plan is going to change against different teams. I'm just saying, we're there. We're there, bro. It's not like we're a bad team. We lost 24-20 to the defending Super Bowl champs. Let that sink in, bro. In week 1. Let that sink in, bro. At their house. Let that sink in. You know what I'm saying? We don't need Micah Parsons, bro. We don't need him. Yes, there was a glaring hole at linebacker as far as just a playmaker that could just fly around and make plays. But hey, that's coming in about weeks in week 7 or some shit. Agent Zero is coming, bro. I'm letting y'all know. Like, he's gonna make a difference. It's gonna be nice. All right. So, let's finish off here towards the end of my little pod, right? So, great stop, bro. Huge. And and then when we get the ball, great conversion by Pickens. What a catch on the sideline by Pickens, bro. 3rd and 5. We need this. This is right. This is do or die. I was gonna say ride or die. This is do or die. 2:47 left on the clock when Pickens makes this catch, and I'm just saying, bro, beautiful catch, bro. He used his hands. He was covered. Also, beautiful throw. Beautiful throw by Dak. Another laser, bro. Like, he just put it in there, bro. Pause. You know what I'm saying? But beautiful throw. Beautiful catch. 3rd and 5 when we needed it. Nearing on 2 minutes to go in the game. Crazy. But then the next play, momentum shifts. That gave us a little momentum. And imagine if CD catches this drop. If he catches that deep, beautiful, on a rope throw by Dak Prescott, that first one that hit him right in the hands, there was no excuse to drop that one. If CD catches that ball, not only might it be a touchdown, I forgot if he fell down or not after he tried to catch it, but he did fall down. Yeah, that's the one where he tackled Blankenship. All right, that was the first one. But if he catches that, he doesn't need to do all this extra stuff and probably stays on his feet. Maybe scores a touchdown. Never know. First of all, the nerve of him to drop that ball. But the thought of him catching that ball, bro. Just changes the whole complexion of the rest of the game. 2 minutes left in their territory. Who knows if he goes and scores a touchdown on that play if he catches it. You know what I mean? Everything changes, bro. Everything changes. I want y'all to know everything changes. This is why I do this, because like it helps you realize like everything changes off of one play. Maybe this happens, maybe that happens. We'll never know when you make mistakes. You know what I mean? If you catch that ball, then we know what could have happened. But you're quote unquote the best, probably self-proclaimed, I wouldn't doubt it, that he's the best receiver in the league in his mind. He's not. But this is what makes him not. He does this over and over throughout his career, bro. On key situations when we need him the most to come up with that clutch play. When it's in traffic, more times than not, he's going to drop that ball, bro. It's what CD does. It's what CD does, bro. It's what CD does, bro. So, there we go. CD drop, losing play. Dak put it on a roll, bro. Dak, literally, that was a laser, bro. Like, he couldn't have thrown that no better. I've never, honestly, I have never seen Dak throw a better football than that one. Just because of the velocity, the distance it had to go, and how he just let it go off of it. Bro, that's what I've been saying that Dak needs to do on a more consistent basis, like he did today. Just let it go, bro. Just when you throw it, don't hesitate. Just let it fly off your fingertips, bro. Good things are going to happen if you trust yourself, because he has a good mind, quarterback wise. He has a good mind. He just hesitates a lot, bro. That's what I've seen from Dak throughout his career. He kind of like, he does that a lot. And it's like, bro, just let the ball go. Just let the ball go. With velocity, just like that, bro. That was such a beautiful pass that didn't get caught. But do that again and again and again and again. Do it again and again. All right? Do it. Just do it. All right? Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Anyways, so here we go. Put it on a rope, drop. CD. Less than 2 minutes left. Third drop of the game on diving attempt. And that's how the key plays end on my little book right here. 24-20 final score. That diving attempt. Terry Glenn. Just off the top of my head, Terry Glenn. He makes that. He makes that look easy. Terry Glenn. Who's that? Josh Gordon. If go look at their highlights, bro, they had so many diving catches, it wasn't even funny. Like Josh Gordon. Another 88. I know damn well Michael Irvin. I know damn well the playmaker was watching that play and said, I would have made that play. I know damn well Mike was watching that game and was expecting a catch out of 88. And I know damn well Mike would have caught that pass. That being said, I totally forgot to talk about that America's Team documentary, bro. Beautiful. Let me just say this. If you're a Cowboys fan, right? If you grew up with them winning those Super Bowls, all right? If you're a real Cowboys fan, comment down below if you cried on episode 7 and episode 8. Comment down below if you cried on those episodes, bro. Because if you cried on those episodes, you are a true fan. If you didn't cry on those episodes, then you do not care about the Dallas Cowboys the way you think you do, bro. I'm just saying. Waterworks for me. I miss that team. And we need that culture, that mentality back. And I feel like Shoddy, could possibly lead us there. Just the vibe of how when Jerry Jones said that he's going to be playing that, Brian Schottenheimer, our coach, is going to be playing to win a Super Bowl for his dad. I just dropped that. But just based off of that energy, bro, that great, good energy. I mean, I, lost, my dad when I was young. Based off of that energy, I just feel that so much. It resonates with me, bro. I feel like good things will happen with him as a coach. I do not feel like we will be that laughing stock team anymore, like something always happens to us type thing. CD Lamb dropping those footballs, it wasn't really like, oh, there goes the something. No, it would have been more along the lines of one of our players getting ejected for spitting on another player. That would have, and then we lose the game. That would have been something that would have been like, oh, there goes the same old Cowboys. But these drops, they happen. As much as I do not like CD Lamb right now for that, Because I wanted to beat the Eagles so bad. You know, it's the Eagles. You know what I mean? It's the Eagles. Um, Not only that, but Dak being 4-1 in his career versus the Eagles. This could have been 5-1. You know, the only one that he had lost before that was that shameful. I broke it down so beautifully um on my podcast last year when we lost to the Eagles in that crazy game ender fashion. Was it last year or was it the year before? I forgot. Anyways, the point is, I broke it down on my podcast. The way I explained it, just like, bro, you're right there on the goal line. You cannot get a penalty. But hey, we got it. Once again, we get into within the 10-yard line and we get a penalty that brings us back. And it lost us the game that game. Similar thing now. We get into the 10, 15-yard line. We get a penalty. George Pickens in this case. And then we end up fumbling and losing the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of the same sort of taste in Dak's mouth, the 2 losses that he's had to the Eagles, and that sucks. That's got a sting for Dak. And I believe they were both on the road. I'm not sure. I forgot. Point is, we should have had this one, but you know what I mean? It's not the same old things as before. I don't feel that vibe anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But Coach Brian Schottenheimer is bringing a nice little energy to our team. I can't doubt that. It feels different to me. I don't know if y'all get the same vibe. I do though. I do. Like, I feel that. But yeah, let's just go to the stats of the game. All right. Let's go to the stats of the game. Let's go to the player stats first. Just break it down really quick within 10 minutes. Dak Prescott, 21 out of 34 for 188 yards. That's not going to cut it. No touchdowns. Also, no picks, no fumbles. Great job by Dak. You know what I mean? So, you know, as far as 21 for 34, it's not bad, but 188, we need 288 off of that, right? Even though Jalen Hurts didn't do so much better as far as yardage, but he won the game and he had a better completion percentage. So, yeah. So rushing, Javonte Williams, 15 carries, 54 yards, 3.6 a carry, 2 touchdowns. That's what we need. But if he had a little more carries, we want to get him at least 20 a game, 21 a game. All right? That would be a nice little average for him. He's a good runner of the football. What I don't like about him is that, did I say Javonte? Is that his name? Okay. Yeah. He's a new player. We haven't really seen him. But what I don't like about him is that he's not gonna wear down no defense. You know what I mean? We need a bruiser, bro. That's why I'm hoping to see Maffa. You know what I mean? I feel like Maffa could be that guy that just punches it in. You know what I mean? Blue ain't gonna be that guy either. Blue is another speed guy. We need a little bit of balance on there. That's all I'm saying. So I feel, honestly, depending on the situation of the game, you should have 4 running backs active. Use 2 of them for special teams, bro. Like, just figure out a way to have them all active. Just in case the game calls for a little physicality, you throw this guy in there. And in case the game calls for a little something else, you throw this guy in there. And in case the game, you know what I mean? So I would just have that balance. I've always felt, and I called it 2 years ago, I've always felt that the Cowboys squad should include 4 different running backs. Like 4 dudes that are active, that can go, and you just use them all somehow. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I feel. Yes, we have Turpin, but that's another speed guy. No physicality. Okay? Outside of using CD Lamb as a running back again, every now and then, but we don't want to wear him down like that. Yeah. So like, you know, anyways, yeah. Miles Sanders, 4 carries for 53 yards, 13.2 a carry. Of course, he had that long run that made his average go up. Cavante Turpin, little Turbo Turpin, uh, 2 carries for 9 yards, 4.5 a carry. Not bad, but you know, little guy. Uh, Dak, 1 rush for 3 yards. Okay. CD Lamb went off in the first half. 7 receptions for 110 yards, 15.7 average. Not bad. George Pickens, 3 catches for 30 yards, 10 average. A catch. Good. Ferguson, 5 catches for 23 yards, 4.6 a catch. Like, are those rushes, bro? That would have been a great rushing stat. Yeah. That needs to improve. Why do they have Ferguson as number 48? It says number 48 on here. He ain't number 48. Okay. Javonte Williams, 2 carries for 10 yards, 5 a carry. Man. Receptions. Javonte Williams had 2 receptions for 10 yards, 5 catch. Turpin had 2 receptions for 18 yards, 9 a catch. Okay. But I was saying Ferguson, 5 receptions for 23 yards, 4.6 a catch is like a rushing stat. That threw me off, honestly. Tackling wise, interception wise, we didn't do much. There's no one that really stood out. Aside for, I'm glad the fact that Houston wasn't able to make his mark in there. You know what I mean? Our new guy, Kenny Clark, my bad. He had himself a solid game. You know what I mean? He stopped the run. Nothing went up the middle. Nothing went in between the linemen. You know what I'm saying? So it was all like when we got ran on. If I remember correctly, it was like a couple of outside runs. But we looked good in the middle. I'll tell you that. Our defensive tackles improved. Mozzie Smith inactive was a big whoa. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we went with the other Solomon Thomas and he had from what I saw, Solomon Thomas had a great game. So our tackles are improving, man. You know what I'm saying? Our tackles are definitely improving. Defensive tackles, my bad. And yeah, that's where we're at, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Let's go through if you want to talk about the Eagles, 19 of 23 for Jalen Hurts, 152 yards, no touchdowns or interceptions. Rushes, 14 rushes for Jalen Hurts, 62 yards, 4.4 carry, and 2 touchdowns. That can't happen again. I'm just saying, bro, that should never happen. Saquon Barkley, though, 18 carries, 60 yards, 3.3 a carry. Great. We stopped him, bro, and 1 touchdown. You know what I'm saying? That's big. Dotson had 3 receptions, 59 yards, 19 a catch. Can't let that happen. Goddard had 7 receptions, 44 yards, 6.3 a catch. Saquon had 4 catches for 24 yards, 6 a catch, 6 yards a catch. That's not bad, bro. We stopped him again even in the passing game, but he did get a key catch, I think, that got him a first down once. Yeah. That was about it. Devontae Smith, 3 receptions for 16 yards, 5.3 a catch. And once again, A.J. Brown, 1 catch for 8 yards. We did our job in the pass game, bro. That's for sure. Jalen Hurts only had 152 yards passing. Solid. You know what I mean? But, we just got to get better overall. Game plan wise. Total yards. Let's go to team stats. All right. Let's break this down and then we're out of here. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. So total yards. We had 307. They had 302. Right. I like doing the team stats because it tells you a lot about the game. It says a story there. You know what I'm saying? And it can tell you who won or lost the game. and where you won and lost the game. You know what I mean? Uh, so you didn't lose the game in yardage. You know what I'm saying? 188 passing yards for you, for us, 144 for them. Rushing yards, 119 for us, 158 for them. That can be, yards per play. We had 5.5. They had 4.9. So that was a big thing for me last season when I used to say we were very low on yards per play. You want to be at like 6 yards per play, 7 yards per play on any given game. I mean, even better if you're like at 8 yards per game. You know what I mean? But 5.5, it was a defensive game for the defensive game. I wouldn't call it so much a defensive game, but you know what I'm saying? It got tough there in certain circumstances, but 5.5 yards per play is like, we beat them in yards per play. That's what I'm going for. First downs, 22 for us, 20 for them. Pretty even there. You know what I'm saying? Third down efficiency, 7 out of 11 for us, 8 out of 13 for them. So they got one more than us and won the game. What a coincidence. Maybe that gave the game away. But 7 out of 11 third down efficiency is amazing, bro. 8 out of 13 is, better just because of that one. But we had a better percentage in third downs, bro. You know what I'm saying? Fourth down efficiency, we were 0 for 1. They were 0 for 0. Total plays, we had 56. They had 62. That may have been also a stat that won them the game. Just those little extra plays that they made to win the game. Sacks allowed, we allowed 0 sacks. Hey, you know what I'm saying? But pressures were there. We just allowed 0 sacks. They got sacked once. That was Nealand and once again Kenny. Yeah, Kenny. You gotta get used to our new guy, man. So sacks allowed, 1 for them. Punts, we had only 2. They had 3. We won on that. Penalties, bro. We had 4 for 42 yards. They had 9 for 110 yards. Penalties, bro. A couple of those were like personal fouls. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of muddies it a little bit. But at the same time, it's still 9 penalties for 110 yards. Still 110 yards in penalties given to us. You know what I'm saying? For free. You know what I mean? On the free. We couldn't capitalize to win the game, bro. Fumbles lost. We lost 1, of course. Sanders. I don't know if that was done on purpose. I have my suspicions. Then again, that's just me. Fumbles lost, 1 for us, 0 for them. Interceptions thrown, 0 and 0. You know what I mean? Time of possession may have won the game in this case. 25 minutes for us and 8 seconds, and 34 minutes for them and 52 seconds. So that's the breakdown of our first game in the 2025 season, week 1, season opener, NFL season opener, put it all together. That's that, bro. And I did it all without a shirt, just because I didn't know what shirt to wear, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not gonna wear a shirt. Anyways, that was that. And I'll be here next week again. Like, comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we do better next week, man. Heading over. I'm supposed to know the opponent. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to know what the opponent is. All right. Second division game to open the season. 2 in a row, bro. That's kind of like, is the league sabotaging us? You know what I mean? I don't know. But we play the Giants at home next week, September 14th at noon. Sunday. So I feel like we should easily win that game. But the Giants are a little bit improved. You know, they got rid of Daniel Jones. You know, no more Saquon though. I believe they went and got a running back. The point is, we should have that win in the bag. We'll see what happens. But that is my time for today, bro. I enjoyed this. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps a lot. Especially the like, especially the subscribe, especially the comment. All right, they all help. All right, but anyways, that's my thing. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed, bro. And I'll see you next time. Maybe with a shirt on. I don't know. But thank you. You are watching. Oh yeah, my bad. You are watching America's Team. We them boys. And how about them Cowboys? Something like that. Anyways, see you next week, guys.